This will bring Chris Warren in.
Well, I think, given the hour, and that it probably would be best, first of all, to, allow time if there are other discussions on what Chris presented. I think that probably would be a better use. I will have get every one of you my business card before you leave. I will be working, as Ken said, with Chris on one-on-one conversations and discussions of the aspects of this. Obviously, Chris is our expert or technical person. I will be there representing the mayor, particularly on the economic development side of the agreements. So, but I think probably the best bet would be to allow more time if there are other questions for comment or questions.
I got one question. Sure. I seem to be asking all the questions now. You mentioned that you're going to be doing a meter replacement. Does that mean all the master meters that are going to stay in place, are you planning on replacing those?
Well,
or is that the municipality who is staying master meters' responsibility to do?
I can't honestly remember the agreements on this, but I know we have ongoing programs to keep those maintained and repaired and accurate.
Yeah, I'm in the city of Bedford, which happens
Yes.
to be a master meter.
Yes.
And we did sign the economic development agreement, but we decided to keep our own mains
Yes.
because of economic development, because we've got too much going on in the city and we can't wait for Cleveland to do our mains. But we've had questions on the master meters. We think they're in error, and that they've checked them and rechecked them, and the flows don't match up. So that was one of the big questions we had: is if you are planning on doing meters, with the newer meter type of things, because let's face it, these meters are ancient. Whether or not that was included in it.
We've not really planned to replace those meters as part of this program, but if you got a meter that you don't think is working properly, we'll work with you to either.
Yeah, well, we were up to a 30% loss ratio here, and something's wrong. Either we're not getting the proper flow coming in regulated, or we've got some major break somewhere that we don't know about.
Well, that's not an atypical figure. I think if you look at Cleveland Heights, I think the last we worked with you, Bob, we were looking at 36%. In the Cleveland system,
Well, they say
we're right at
is between 17 and 20, which is what you're going to get, and we're considerably higher than that.
Well, in Cleveland, we're in the upper 20s. On an average in the water system, we're in the upper 20s.
Yeah.
So, and that includes new places, So, I'm not surprised to hear a 30% figure. And the other thing is that the individual water meters we find are inaccurate, and they're the ones where day after day you're losing revenue.
We replaced them about 7 years ago, but we're going to be in the process of doing that again.
Yep. And then there's all sorts of other losses and unaccounted for water that just disappears, into the ground.
Tell me about it.
It does.
I got a question. Just over the weekend, I had a couple groundwater calls. Let's say we get into the department decides to jump into the program. We start to reline and clean and reline some of these pipes. How effective? Let's say we do 10 streets, in Parma.
Mm-hmm.
Is there still the possibility they're going to get brown water in those areas that have been cleaned and relined because they're connected in with pipes that have not been cleaned and relined yet?
There is that potential. You got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
And
right. Sure.
And I think what we devised with Parma Heights to try to get them through was a directional flushing program, and it's not effective for very long, and that's the problem because it's expensive to put the resources to that. But between using our hydraulic model on the computer system and effectively flushing it on a one-time basis in one direction to clear that, we can buy some time. And I think we could probably work with you on something like that while you get into the replacement or the cleaning and lining program.
Is there an optimal place where you begin a cleaning and relining? Do you want to stop at the end of a line and work your way back?
Potentially. It depends. We'd want to take a close look at that and use our hydraulic model to try to calibrate where we're getting complaints with what we're actually experiencing in the field.
Because you can hear the resident complaints already, you know, we
Mhm.
decided to do this. Brennan, you told us, you know, we're just gonna begin to eliminate the brown water problem, and I get called the next summer, hey, I got brown water again.
Right. Well, we would certainly work with you to try to develop an effective program, but as you know, Parma has got more online pipe than any place else in the system.